Huh? Oh, let me see if I got my alert. I didn't have Facebook on. Hold on. I signed up for alerts to come through even. Yep, John Payton is, yep, John Payton's live. Yep, everybody's live. Everybody's like, I have not looked on mine. Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Hang on, we're getting ready. Sharing out the link, guys. Thanks a lot, crew. Live from VentureX Studios in Frisco, Texas. It's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Crew and the crew, the crew, the crew, the crew.
Echo. We're doing our own special effects.
We are.
But where's the studio audience? Or did they not make it in because of the rain? Oh, they made it in.
They made it in. They're back there. Aren't they excited?
But it didn't even because of the, in spite of the rain.
In spite of the rain, the rain.
Oh, we're
well,
a
hopefully you
mess.
did not get washed away last night. Kathy
No
almost got washed
kidding.
away last night.
We were one of the 3,000 people out in the Plano Allen area. I think that there was a whole chunk of us in Collin County that were without power for a while. And it's interesting, Ann Guzman, I saw her pop on, and a while back, the crew had busted my chops because I'm totally into all the smell good stuff. Candles, plug-ins, the electric things where you put little tarts and smell good stuff. And they're like, you've got like horrible asthma, horrible allergies, your lungs are jacked up. Slow down on all of the smell good stuff. And it's interesting because last night when I got home, the electricity had already been out for a while. And so my husband went and grabbed all of the many smell good candles that we have. JP, you've been to my house.
Yes.
You know how that is.
It smells good.
Well, you know what's interesting?
None of them would light.
Huh?
None of them would light.
Oh, no. They lit.
Oh. You were lit?
No.
Oh,
We needed to be last night, but we couldn't see to get to anything. I mean, literally, and I kept losing my flashlight. And Michael's like, put your flashlight in your pocket. But I ended up really struggling. Had to do a breathing treatment, had to use my asthma medicine, both of them this morning. It's interesting what a difference and not that I don't have some smell good things going on in my house, but I've been real careful about candles and things like that. And so I've got to give some props to Ann and Dr. Good and Gail and Michelle and everybody who, like 6 months back, started busting my chops. And as a result of that, changed my habits. And last night, because we had no choice but to light the candles that we could find, all of a sudden I told Michael, I said, I'm wheezing. And he's like, should I start blowing out candles? I'm like, well, we have to see. So props to Ann and everybody who busted my chops and called me out on that, because it has made a difference, obviously.
You mean not burning the candles?
Yeah. Well, not having 19, like I'm one of those that there's a plug-in in every room.
Oh, gotcha.
There's the little plug-in electric tart things. Now what I use are flameless candles that are on a timer, which that's all good, fire safety. And then I only use pure essential oils in like a little diffuser that I have. But when I saw Ann's name pop up, I thought, my goodness, I need to give her props, because last night I could tell a difference with having those strong candle fragrances just walking in my house like that. But it was crazy. Power was out for almost 2 hours, and I just so I started thinking about the people in Louisiana who have still been without power, and just God bless them. But I was telling Charles and JP, I was telling y'all this morning, it was really creepy last night. Like I've had it where the whole neighborhood's gone dark before. There's been a power outage in the neighborhood, and street lights are out, and nobody has no lamps, front porch lamps, anything. It was because of everything going on in this world, and even though I feel like what's a safe neighborhood, it was very off-putting. Just.
You sound very serious this morning.
Well, because it was.
It sounds like it's really impacted you.
Well, it really bothered me, because I sat there and I thought, we are completely in the dark, and it was our neighborhood, the neighborhood next to us. When an entire neighborhood in today's temperature, I guess I could say, today's environment.
Well, I was going to ask you if you felt that some of the things that you're seeing and reading, like the D.C. situation, walking through the streets, the dark streets. Yeah.
I have to tell you, it did. Whereas a couple of years ago, we would have been laughing, because I would have looked at my husband and been like, you know what, let's go see what bar or, what restaurant does not have the electricity out. My son was at his rehearsal for his band. It was just my husband and I. We would have been like, okay, let's go up and see who's still got the lights on, and we'll go get a glass of wine.
My question.
That was not last night. I felt very vulnerable. That's the word I'm looking for.
So who else who has children?
Mm-hmm.
So last night, I get a phone call from my son.
Yeah.
At 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Right? Anything after 10, it's like you get a phone call from your son.
Yeah.
My son, he's married, and
But it doesn't matter.
But he called. It was 10:30. And I'm like, uh-oh.
You're like, are you okay?
Uh-oh. And I'm like,
what's wrong?
Hello? And he goes, hey, is your power out? And I'm like, oh, no. I'm sitting there watching my YouTube shows or whatever.
Right.
And he said, oh, it's out over here. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, you got your phone charged, right? And he goes, well, yeah, I had charged my laptop, and so I can use that to charge my phone so that my alarm will go off in the morning. Like, okay, good.
Right.
Good. But still, it was like
it's that call.
You see that call, and it's your son.
It doesn't matter how old they are. Oh yeah.
Well, when your kids never call you. Unless they need something, right? Or they need help or something like that. And typically.
Yeah.
And so when they do call, you're like,
what's up?
What's going on? Is everything okay? What do you need?
Well, and I think, any parent, you totally get that, especially once your kids go off on their own. But JP, you said I was very serious. I did feel vulnerable last night, and it's not that we don't have the ability to protect ourselves. Let's just say that. But for example, when I saw this one kid kind of walking like with a skateboard, walking down the middle of my street, right past my car. And so what do? Okay, so I'm flashing a flashlight, and I'm like, I see somebody. I'm like, okay, that's your own reflection, Kathy, in the window, because you can't do that. Then I'm like, well, I'm going to go out front and just see if anything's up. And Michael's like, really? Because that's not the best thing to do if you think there's somebody out there. It's one of those things that nowadays in society, you have a power outage because of a storm. If a neighborhood goes completely black, and they advertise it, I'm sure, my mom was calling, are y'all okay? Because they were advertising which part of Collin County had gone black, had gone complete power outage. I don't know. It's a different feeling. Did anybody else from the crew lose power last night? Or you get what I'm talking about? It's just, a feeling of being vulnerable when your house is completely black with the exception of a few candles and a few flashlights. That's not a good feeling nowadays. I don't know. That's the only way I know how to say that. You know? Have you shared all your shares?
Oh, God, I did that before we started.
Oh, well, then why didn't you let me keep on talking?
I've just been listening. I thought you felt like you wanted to talk.
No. So, I always feel like I want to talk.
I think it was important. I mean, I mean, for example, right?
If
Chuck took my role.
If your neighborhood,
Chuck took
chiming in.
You have to understand that it was really Chuck, Kathy, and the crew, and I'm just sitting here.
JP's commenting. Well, think about it. If your neighborhood would have been black last night, would you have been in kind of fight or flight mode?
Well, I don't know because I wasn't in that scenario, so I don't know. I mean,
it's different than it used to be.
I can imagine how you were feeling, but I can't tell you I could know how you were feeling because I wasn't in it.
You haven't been in that situation yet since this.
Right.
It was almost like I looked at Michael and I go, I'm getting flashbacks to the movie The Purge.
Right.
Well, I like the lights out. I like it dark.
I'm going to put your lights out. I have been sitting here doing this for 5 minutes.
Get up there.
I've been doing this for 5 minutes. Chuck, I'm going to put your lights out, Chuck.
Good morning to the crew.
Now, so I wanted to refer to a comment that I think is now gone. Fred Nort had said, Kathy, now you know what it felt like to be in New York as a peace officer when 9/11 everything went black.
Oh, yes.
I can't imagine.
And I want to refer that. Chuck.
That's very important.
But he said, I can relate to that for sure because, again, after 9/11, everything went blacked out in New York. He said, wow. And
God bless. And God bless. And again, God bless our men and women in blue. Yes. We back the blue a bajillion 100%. Because here's the thing. I was just making sure that, my puppy was contained in her little, we call it her office,
Look at Fred's comment. First he can relate to you. Then he says, we had power. I guess my area paid their electric bill.
And that's, that's what's interesting. I've been in a situation where just like my house and my neighbor's house across the street have gone out, or just a couple of houses. When an entire neighborhood goes out, and the sun goes down.
Right.
A whole different feeling. And literally, I called you. I had driven over to the McDonald's parking lot because I didn't have Wi-Fi and I still needed to send out some stuff for the show and for work today. And so, when I saw, okay, that neighborhood is completely black. My neighborhood's completely blacked out. It's a different feeling. But here's the thing. I was just worried about protecting me and my own, making sure my son didn't come back home until after the power was back on. I'm telling you, I can't imagine being a police officer. Like, let's say some kind of crime would have broken out in a neighborhood while they knew, hey, these people, you've got 3,000 houses.
No alarms,
no alarms, no lights, no anything for a couple of hours at least. If I'm a police officer, I'd be terrified. Well, that's why I'm not a police officer. Right. I don't have the bravery to go into a situation like that.
Cleo says, I would have been okay. I like it dark, love the rain. Plus, I grew up in Houston. During hurricanes, your power can be out for days or weeks.
Gotcha. Well,
and I get that, but you got to be used to that.
Yep.
And Kathy, what it is that, and this is where I go back to. It's funny. I asked Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave will be on at 8:45 this morning.
Yes. And Miss Plano is on.
And Miss Plano will be on at 8:15, and then we've got Lathan Watts at 8:30.
First Liberty. Yep.
So, but what I was getting at is, what was I getting at? Dr.
Something
Dave.
about the Dr. Dave, the dark, the lights out.
Thanks. Yeah, help me out with that, Chuck. You got word affiliation is good. Just Kathy derailed me. Word association.
Stand up, sit down. Maybe I'll jump back up there.
I don't know now. Anyways, so moving on, I guess. I don't remember. I think that's a sign of age or too much coffee. But Dr. Dave will be on at 8:45. We're going to talk about a whole myriad of conversation there. You don't want to miss out with Dr. Dave and what we're going to discuss with him and what's going on in the ER world and how it may impact you and your families. But I think that's where I was going with this. So Hollywood has helped create that fear, I think, along with what's going on in the real world right now. In the United States, with D.C. and Portland and Seattle, Minneapolis. Of course, the difference between Minneapolis and the rest of them is that the governor actually was wise and called in the state National Guard to take care of that issue, whereas the mayor of Portland has decided he is not going to protect the citizens of the city of Portland. But yet the city of Portland hasn't called for his recall election. So evidently they love what they're getting into.
How? Yeah, I guess they're cool with that. I don't know.
And of course, here we are. We're getting on the brink of Homeland Security saying this is now becoming a national security risk, and we're going to step in. So we could very well have a clash between federal and state rights and where that goes. That's going to be a very interesting stepping off into for sure. But anyways, where I'm going with that is that I last night I was joking around with Dr. Dave, and I said one of the things that I want you to talk about, Dr. Dave, is when do we think the folks that have passed away from COVID-19 will come back as zombies?
Oh, of course y'all talked about
Well,
zombies.
you ready for this? I mean, think about this, right? China.
Of course y'all talked about
Of course.
zombies.
You know, this is a manufactured virus.
Y'all
by
talked about
China.
zombies without me. How dare
We
y'all?
did. We did.
How dare y'all?
I mean, why wouldn't the Chinese put something in this virus? Because I could see them using technology that would bring people back to life. I mean, oh man. So he said, "No, JP, we can't do that."
Yeah, no, that's not.
Well, would we have? Is there potential for zombie unicorns?
Okay, well, do you want me to go into a whole Game of Thrones
No,
thing?
no, no.
And when the
Okay.
dragon got hit with the
So-
dragon glass and became a zombie dragon,
No.
it happens.
No.
Currently 7:53 in the Dallas Fort
It
Worth.
happens.
No.
Everybody bring your umbrella. It's going to
It's nice
rain,
weather.
y'all.
It is.
Yeah, just please be safe out there driving around. I mean, you were closer to the Denton area last night, and it was a big old mess out
Well,
there.
a huge mess yesterday. I
Yeah.
was out there in the early afternoon,
Yeah.
trouncing around in Aubrey and Pilot Point and Collinsville and Krugerville, southeast Cook County, southwest Grayson County,
Yeah.
northwest Collin County. The flooding was huge. I was in the middle of it.
Oh, you were hydroplaning.
I was, and
I mean, you had no choice. If
no.
you're going to drive, you're going to hydroplane.
right, and so the sides of the roads had overrun the road as well, and so it's pretty crazy stuff. Coach Quigley has posted, "Hey crew, I need you as I bow my head and bend my knees this morning. I pray for Matt Zellner, former teacher at Williams High School and a Berkner Ram alumni. He was
Yes.
undergoing serious surgery today to remove cancer from his right lung.
Oh, my
Please
goodness.
pray along with me."
Oh, absolutely, Coach Quigley.
So here
will
we go. You
definitely
ready?
Pray.
You strengthen those who are weak and tired. Through your power, you can heal the sick. I ask that you protect my friend as his surgery begins tomorrow. Help him to be healed and guide the surgeons as they begin their work. Amen.
Oh, amen. Oh, my
So there
goodness.
you
Yeah,
go.
thank you, Coach, for that. Absolutely.
All right.
Mm.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into some local news here. You are with JP, Kathy, and the crew. We come to you live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 a.m. on the JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network. Also, very excited to announce that we are going to be rolling out our lineup very soon. We've got the Lawyer Show on Thursdays from 12 to 1.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, it's hilarious. The first interview was with me, and Jeremy and I had a
Corley
great time.
said it is just, he said, y'all knocked it out of the park. He said it's great.
Well, I'm excited for it.
Can't
I know that
wait.
Jeremy's way excited. We've got Dr. Good on Sundays at 8 a.m. For everything education from the state down to the local. We will have, starting very soon, our own military veteran show coming on with Major Andrew White.
We're real excited about that.
Yep. And then,
A
we got,
couple of other shows that that some other members of the crew have brought in. Financial show,
we got
Creative
Gail
Arts
and
for Christ.
Steve Meeks coming on.
Yep.
Working with them this morning, in
bringing the
fact.
mental health moment back.
Bringing the mental health moment back.
What
With
else?
Acadia Healthcare. We want to thank
Yes,
Acadia Healthcare.
we love Chris Getz with Acadia Healthcare.
sponsoring
Yes.
Shay.
I'm going to mention that. Hold on just a
Yeah,
second.
and
we've got,
gosh,
well, we got a
we
lineup.
didn't write it down.
Well, we do.
No,
Charles
I
is-
know,
Charles
I'm
is written his
teasing. I know.
schedule.
Has anybody written these down? Oh,
I've got my 1930s
yeah,
pen.
I know,
Let
but
me
that's a
write
fancy
that.
pen.
It is. a fancy
Brunch
pen.
with Ben.
Brunch with Ben.
And that's
You and
getting
I
ready
have a
to
conference
kick
call
off
with him.
With Ben Franklin.
With Ben Franklin,
Okay,
actually. He's
yeah.
come back from the dead. Again, COVID-19
yeah.
zombie.
You know?
We've also got Joe Castile, who's Joe Show Castile.
Yeah, we've just
We're going
got
to be talking
some
with him
exciting
about his
stuff,
show.
yeah.
We've got Shay Drake, who's going to
Yeah,
be bringing
love
Plano
Shay.
nostalgia, which is
Shay.
very, very cool
Barbecue
as
too. Or
well.
something.
Well, distinctively possible. He's putting his team together.
Gotcha.
And so we're gonna be talking about that and producing that. Tess Armstrong is still out there. We're talking about bonds and what can be going on with bonds. And,
It's interesting.
and then, of course, again, like you said, creative arts
for Christ. Yeah, it's going to be like a Saturday Night Live format, but these are teenagers, so obviously it's a Christian it's a Christian show. Funny as all get out. These kids are so talented. They have built their own set. It's amazing what they have done to keep the creative juices flowing during COVID. That's what I love about Americans. So many people, you see people's resilience and their tenacity. It just really shows at a time like this. And that's, God, we've got a great country.
We do. Voices too?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Okay. That was a dad voice. Where's Jacob? I need Jacob. Help, Jacob. And we've got great guests coming up. By the way, I've reached back out to Gary Sinise and scheduling to bring him back on the show. I'm going to try to get him on Andrew White's show.
See, that would be great. And then Colonel Alan West.
Colonel Alan West is going to be a regular.
He's going to be a regular once a month. I think it's going to be Wednesdays, possibly. That may be the same day we do Congressman Taylor. Senator Paxton's going to be doing a Senate Minute and getting people prepped because as Dr. Good talks about on a regular basis with education, the session starts in January. The work for the session literally starts the day after the November election when everybody knows who's in office.
Wild. They're going wild.
Well, it's because it's just crazy what we've got coming up.
Amazing.
Hey, and then another big interview besides Gary Sinise that I'm going to be booking for our veteran show that's going to be on JP Kathy and the Crew Network. We have our very own Randy and Mary Travis
JP,
coming in
is
Friday.
Awesome that you got him on.
And so very excited about that. We're going to talk
great.
about, we're going to talk about his foundation.
Yep.
We're going to talk about his book. We're going to talk about his new song release and maybe a little bit, if we have time, talk about a little bit of what he and Mary have had to go through to get him to the point where he could get back up in front of the stage and sing Amazing Grace.
Yeah, back out doing public appearances like on the show, and we'll be able to play his some of his music on our show, which super excited about that.
Very
excited. Just again, when you think of traditional, solid country star, Randy Travis is one of the top people that pops into everybody's mind.
Absolutely.
So good stuff.
So good stuff going on. So Dr. Dave just sent me one of his topics, and this is going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. Zombies attack America. No, just kidding. When it comes to Labor Day menu choices, safety is tasty.
World War Z.
So and then
what
World
he
War
means
Z.
by that.
Well, we're going to find out. There you go.
What he
We want to
means by
welcome Barbara back to the show. Thank you for joining us. And I want to get Attila back on the air.
Oh, Mike Blonsky's
because
watching too. Good
Kathy, check
morning.
this out. He's right up there. He's going to go up there for a Trump rally up in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Oh, very interesting. Because
Kenosha, Wisconsin,
yesterday when the president went through there, there were anti-Trump people lined up on one side of the street, pro-Trump people lined up on the other side of the street. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think, I'm going to ask to the crew, are you ready for November 4th to roll around?
Boy, I know I am. I know the crew's been telling me they are. Something else I would love to have, Kathy, is I'd love to have a church bring their show onto our network.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
On doing their Sunday service with us. That would be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
I think we can work a deal out with somebody on that.
That would be awesome.
So, all right. So, what do we have going on in our local news? We have a lot going on. Let's go ahead and first talk about the weather and what those strong storms brought about. I'll tell you some very scary stuff. I was actually in the middle of it when it was going on, even outside of Denton City Hall, with all of the irrigation, all of didn't matter. The rain was too much. 6 inches in 2 hours. Rolled through Denton and Collin County Tuesday afternoon. The heavy rain caused flash flooding in Denton County for more than 5 hours. And again, I was a part of that. I was on 922 when it was flooding up by Lake Ray Roberts. I was down on 1385 when it was flooding, 455 when it was flooding in Pilot Point. And the water, I mean, if anybody had fallen into a culvert, they were gone. They were going to be swept down the road because it was so bad. I don't know if you can get this picture, Chuck, on there, if we can go ahead and do switcher. But this is just outside of City Hall in Denton, the city of Denton, okay? And if you see the water is actually all the way up to the edge. And on this left side of the picture is actually coming off onto the sidewalk there. Or not sidewalk, whatever that concrete barrier is. So that's what it looked like, Kathy, throughout the north.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Denton County, north Collin County area all day yesterday. So, and that flash flood warning doesn't end until Thursday. You told me that as well.
Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So this could be happening anywhere in the flash flood warning areas. So just please be safe. If you don't have to get out and about, I would recommend not getting out and about. If you do, just be safe. You know, this always blows me away. Driving today, driving yesterday in the rain, somebody was beeping at me. I was going the speed limit, beeping behind me, cut over to the right of me, and then almost clipped the front right of my car with the back left of their car, getting in front of me to prove a point, like, hey, look, I can drive really super fast in the rain. And I'm like, well, good luck to you. And then had a big old white van cut me off this morning. And I'm like, I'm going if it's raining, I'm going the speed limit or lower. Sorry.
Well, which you should anyways.
Yeah, I mean, is that not, you know, and I'm in this whole world of driver's license because my son just got his driver's license. Yay, even during COVID, because that's not fun. That's not easy. That's another story, maybe for later today. But so we're very up on the rules of the road.
Right.
And if it's raining and it's serious rain and you've had floods and you can see the rain up on the curb, you know, the water, why are you driving 20 miles over the speed limit?
Right. I hope I see the rain on the curb when it's raining.
Yeah, me. Okay, Chuck.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the water.
Yeah. So
you know the water rising up. Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you what else is rising up. Chuck, go to my screen. This is fun. Kathy, can you tell me what this is?
It's a corny dog.
No, but what kind of corny dog?
It's Fletcher's, but is this something that Chip sent out?
Well, I sent it out too.
Oh, okay. I
sent you one where it's at the Golden Chicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yes,
Chip
they
tagged
announced a partnership.
Chip, a buddy of ours, tagged me in.
Well, I didn't tag you. I sent you the thing in Messenger.
Oh, okay. I haven't checked Messenger
Golden
yet.
Chick's going to bring stuff in, right, for us.
I saw that. Oh, we want them as a sponsor. Please,
go.
please,
Come
please,
on,
please.
Subtle messaging.
There's nothing subtle. I'm begging. Please, please. We have a sponsorship for you.
I'm begging.
Chip tagged me in a message about
JP
this.
And Kathy Cruz sent you.
Yes,
you
exactly.
Like behind the scenes subtle messaging.
And I was like, yes.
So Fletcher's Corny Dogs coming to the Golden Chick drive-thru. They announced that partnership on Tuesday with Richardson-based fast food chain known for its fried chicken. And so gear up if you want your Fletcher's Corny Dog. I'll tell you, people are, but the new word for 2020, pivoting.
Yes,
and Fletcher's Corny Dogs pivot.
And we really need to help support those places from the state fair.
Yes.
I mean, those small businesses, some of them,
this is their whole year.
Yes.
That's their whole year. And drive through. I think they're doing the drive through through the fair.
Through the Texas State
They
Fair.
are.
So because there's always that one,
food.
and there's always that one item. I'm wondering, can you get your swag on at the fair? There's always that one item, literally, and we still need to talk about COVID items that we've purchased.
Yeah, we haven't had
Well,
time.
no, I'm not even talking about the food. I'm talking about the one thing, like you just had to get the Tapper massager, or you just had to get the copper sheets that ended up not being any different than the others.
Oh,
See, I love that.
the butter sculpture. I do too.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
right.
I like all those the exhibits. And the quilts, the photos. My daughter, she won when she was in junior high, won 3rd place at the State Fair of Texas in a black and white photo competition of our old dog Lucy. And I love that kind of stuff. The jams, the jellies, just everything.
I love that too. Hey, Coach Quigley, if you don't mind reaching out to Wes. I remember watching him play at Plano East and broadcasting his name and stuff. We'd love to have him come on and talk about that.
Oh.
He owns a Golden Chick. All right. Let's talk about
Please
COVID-19.
bring food with you, please.
Let's talk about COVID-19 real quick. So what is going on out there? Well, how about this? COVID numbers are improving with Fort Worth ISD now being optimistic in-person classes could resume soon. That's right. The district for now is planning its virtual start after Labor Day. According to officials from the city and the district, things are looking good right now. However, they cautiously are looking to see if the area has another spike in cases and hospitalizations after Labor Day weekend. Recent COVID-19 data has Fort Worth ISD hopeful that students and teachers might be able to return in person to class sooner rather than later. Quote, "We are optimistic. We are encouraged by some of the trends we see in the public health metrics, positivity rate, cases per week, hospitalizations. We're looking for a specific combination of metrics that will compel us to return in-person instruction," said Fort Worth ISD Superintendent Dr. Kent Scribner. And so you may be seeing kiddos going back to school faster. Now, of course, what doesn't help that is an elementary school in Keller. The whole school got quarantined.
Right.
Because of COVID-19.
Yep.
That doesn't help matters.
No.
But Fort Worth is looking ahead and saying, hey, we may be able to get in there sooner than later. Now, we've got to get this on the screen because this is way super sweet. You're going to love this, Kathy.
What is this?
Weatherford teen returns high school class ring lost 50 years ago.
I love stuff like this. I
See?
love stories like this.
There's her sweet little hand. All right.
I love stories like this.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, it was finally found in Weatherford Lake when 17-year-old Deaglan Thompson pulled up his boat anchor. I mean, what kind of luck is that, right? I wonder if he could find my sunglasses. The 1970...
Or your small iPad that was still missing.
Yeah, good luck with
Yeah.
that. Don't get me...
Don't even get me started.
You're about to fire me up, Catherine
Don't
Ann.
even get me started. We're still missing JP's still missing a mini net.
And how does that happen?
That's a story for another day.
Another day.
Magical. It disappeared.
And nobody
never
knows.
Reappeared.
Yeah, nobody knows. Only 6 people could have possibly had the potential for that. Yeah. So the 1970 class ring had the initials LWS. Deaglan's parents, James and Taya, did some research to find the owner and returned it. They learned it belonged to Larry Schaefer, who lost the ring in his senior year. Sadly, he died in September of 1980. However, the Thompson family managed to find Schaefer's daughter, Angela Casey. She was 5 when her dad died. She's never heard the story of the ring. When James gave Casey her dad's class ring, they were stunned to learn they both graduated from Weatherford High School in 1993, but they didn't know each other then. Angela says the ring being returned means the world to her.
That's so.
And if we can put that up on the screen again.
I love that.
Chuck, want to give Clarice Tinsley the scoop on this. She's the one that brought it to the attention. But there's the family. Isn't that sweet? I think that's a sweet thing. So great story. Makes you feel good as we get ready to head off into Thursday. So that's a good way to kick off the very next day. Oh, that's right. We do. We have Miss Plano getting ready to come on. Landry
Super
Champlin.
excited about Landry, yes.
Yeah, very excited. Miss Plano's come up with a great national holiday that she began years ago.
Her story is very inspirational. Just an amazing young lady. So, very excited to have her up next.
Yep. So she'll be coming on at 8:15 with us.
And she's kind of in the entertainment world as Miss Plano and part of that Miss Texas pageant. As a matter of fact, she's even been chosen as an ambassador this year. Because things with Miss Texas, as we know from talking to our dear friend who we just love dearly, Chandler, all the time. Things are different. Chandler will be the longest reigning Miss Texas, so there's a whole different way that's going to come about. But entertainment news, I have to say this came through. Remember, we had and the crew will remember this, we had a whole big thing talking about the Tiger King.
Yes.
Okay, y'all remember Carol Baskin, the chick who hated the Tiger King so much?
Yes.
Guess who has just been announced for one of the quote-unquote stars for season 29 of Dancing with the Stars?
Don't tell me.
Carol Baskin.
Oh my gosh.
So I've never
People will tune into that. You
Tiger King.
don't do
Is
it.
Is it a competing
do
thing for Lion King, or is it a competing animated show? Or
it would take us 2 hours to explain it to you. We did a whole 2-week thing where we couldn't stop talking about it. It was a train wreck that you just had to watch. So if you watched the Tiger King, you know who Carol Baskin is. She's going to be on Dancing with the Stars. So there's that.
There's that. Yeah, no thanks.
That's what popped up right before we went live, and I'm like, I need entertainment news time today.
All right. How about the Dallas Stars? Let's go to my screen if we can, Chuck. Yeah, not such a great run. Well, we got a commercial. Let's bypass a commercial, Chuck. Let's wait until the commercial goes away.
Oh.
Love commercials. Anyways, the Dallas Stars faced off with the Colorado Avalanche.
Right.
Not such a good result this
Yeah.
time. All right, now go to my screen there, Chuck. Here we go with sound. Well.
Oh, that was a cool graphic, though.
Game 4 yesterday.
There we go.
Avalanche must win tonight to force a Game 6. Stars won the first 2 games. Avalanche won Game 3, 6-4, and then the Stars 5-4 in Game 4. Samuel Girard with the puck for the Avs. Puck.
All right, let's go forward. You can see Colorado now up 3-0 over Dallas in the first period with 7:28 left to go. Definitely challenged Bishop in the box.
Yes.
Head coach Bowness said that it really wasn't Bishop's fault. This comes down to the defense in front of him not taking care of their business. But there you can see, with just in the second period with 12:10 to go, Colorado up 5-1, and there's the goal that the Stars were able to put in the net. But it didn't get any better than that, really. The Stars did try to make a run at it, but the Colorado Avalanche will take Game 5. They'll go to Game 6. If the Stars can put an end to the Avalanche's comeback, then the Stars will go on to the Western Cup Finals. So that gives you the answer, by the way. It's the Western Cup Finals right before the Stanley Cup.
Right. So.
With 2:29 left in the second period, you can see where it became 5-2
Right.
On the screen. So, you know what? We're still alive.
We are. Well,
In the driver's seat. We're 3-2. We're still up 3-2.
This is such a weird season, and I don't want this to be my early out just in case we don't win this series. But, we had predicted, and you and myself and then Chris O'Sullivan, who is a buddy of ours at our last station, and he's not a fan of the Stars at all, but
No, he's not.
he had gone along with us and said, hey, they will win the Stanley Cup next year. They're poised to do so. This has just been such an odd season. But I tell you what, again, like you said the other day, props to the NHL for leaving politics out of sports.
I mean, completely.
And that's what makes it so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because it's just pure entertainment.
So you can see in the third here on the screen at 5:50, it was the Colorado Avalanche 6 and the Dallas Stars 2.
I love
at
that we get
point.
to put this on the screen.
Oh, isn't
This
that great
is so
stuff?
Cool.
That's great stuff. So
Magic.
Magic. So, Chuck, we want to thank you for doing that and getting that on there. But, yeah, so the Stars still in it. We'll see where they end up. How about our Texas Rangers? Are they anywhere near the World Series? No. And, Kathy, if you remember, I talked about the fact that we would be able.
Still love them.
Yeah, that this would be our year. And guess what? It's not our year.
And 2020 isn't anybody's year.
It's not our year for sure. Chuck, if you can go ahead and bring that up live with sound. I don't know if you can do that or not. But this is our Texas Rangers.
Colorado tomorrow.
So at Globe Life.
That's the new park, too.
Yeah. Globe Life they win last night in Houston 5-4. Down in Houston. They did it on a balk. I mean, 10th inning balk is what got them in there. I don't know why we're still listening to hockey. How interesting
I was going to say,
is that?
how'd the Avalanche get announced at
the
Rangers game?
ballpark with the Rangers on the play. Right, I don't understand how that happened. But anyways.
It was your computer.
I know, it really was my computer. Technology.
At least it wasn't a pop-up ad.
It wasn't a pop-up ad. So, yeah, couldn't you imagine? No, I don't want to do that. I was going to say, I was going to be funny. We're
about to interview Miss Plano. Let's act like we're all fancy and sophisticated.
Fancy.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
act fancy.
She's going to be like, oh, okay. Not so much.
I want to act fancy. The problem is I know it's just an act. Oh, how do I get around it just being an act? I don't know. But the Rangers beat the Astros in 10 innings. The Rangers did a fire sale, getting rid of some of the star players. I think Lance Lynn ended up staying with the Rangers, interestingly enough. Chirinos is gone, though, which I think is a huge mistake. I think that I watched that guy when he was in spring training when I was covering the Rangers for those 3 years.
Yeah, yep.
Man, that guy is just out and out a great ball player. And I'm going to give it to Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge. Pudge does a great job of developing these young catchers. The Rangers have had some of the best catchers come out of its organization.
And that's one of those
in the last 10 years.
when you've got somebody who's talented themselves, but then a true leader is going to make sure they mentor that next generation. And boy, howdy, was he phenomenal at that.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
So, and as we get ready to bring Miss Plano on, I want to make sure we make an announcement. We are going to announce our very own professional paper football league. And we're going to want you to sign up. There are going to be prizes. We're going to have a Monday night game that we're going to
be crazy.
Yeah, we're going to highlight a Monday night game.
I don't even know how this is going to go.
Monday night VX PFL, Venture X Professional Football League.
Paper football
Paper
league.
football league.
We're not professional by any means.
And then we're going to have Sunday games. And we're going to do like an 8-week, I think.
Yeah,
what we talked about, 8 weeks.
I think that's it.
Have you
Yeah,
talked
we're
to
kind
the
of working out the
commissioners yet?
details.
No, commissioners are working out the rules.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're just announcing. We think we're going to have 8 weeks.
Yeah, so
It's
commissioners
gonna
have
be
the rules.
fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Prizes at the end.
And there will be,
Super Bowl.
everybody will stand
Well,
for the national anthem.
Right, and God will be involved.
And God will be involved. And we're not going to. This is one of those things. We've got so many friends and so many members of the crew who are huge sports fans. We are. I mean, we're ginormous. We're, sports fans. And we've just gotten so frustrated with politics and political statements and all this kind of stuff being brought into sports. So we're like, JP's like, let's do something crazy. I'm like, yeah, what about like that the paper flicker
like,
thing you used to do back then?
Ding, 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 ding,
and
ding.
JP just ran with it. He's like, and I'm off.
And I'm off.
And so Venture X has, they're
Jumped
going
on
to let
board
us,
with us.
we'll have, beer
Beer,
and wine and
wine,
snacks.
snacks.
And everybody come up. And if the NFL plays,
We'll
have those
TVs
games.
with that on there.
So it should be a fun time. You can make your own paper football league cheerleaders. There will probably be like a competition for that.
Yep.
So I need to win that because I know I can. I tried to flick something the other day.
Yeah.
Did it go a big 2 inches? Like yours went all the way over to the next table.
We're not talking about nose picking. Okay, Kathy.
No flicking.
No
FLICKING.
Do we have Miss Plano? Do we have Landry on there?
Do we have Landry?
Because I want to talk to Landry.
Sorry about that intro, Landry.
Landry, good morning. We can't hear her.
Sorry.
Can we hear her now, Chuck? Landry, are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hey.
Yay.
Hello, Miss Plano. How are you?
Good morning. So,
Thank you so much for having me.
so
We're super
Landry,
excited to have you on.
thank you for joining us. You make me look so much better. I love that.
She's definitely our positive person experience.
She is our positive.
Oh,
She's
yes.
beautiful. Isn't she beautiful?
And no offense to Lathan Watts, who will be in studio with us in a few minutes. She's going to win the beauty contest
She's
today.
beautiful. Yeah, no offense, Lathan.
But
You're not
she's beautiful inside and out. This just shows, those contestants in the Miss Texas pageant organization. Obviously, they're beautiful women, but it's much deeper than that. It's that heart and soul. And boy, Landry's got it in spades. And congratulations. I've heard you were one of the Miss Texas ambassadors this year during COVID. So congratulations to you on that.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be able to champion the Texas Cares for Children program. So it's going to be a great year.
Awesome.
So, Landry, I mean, tell us, how does it feel? Of course, we love, by the way, our Miss Texas.
We love, and Chandler's been
amazing,
phenomenal. We still have her on the show,
all the
and
time.
We'll have her on the show even past her reign.
So we've gotten a feel for her, what it's like to be, though, in the pageant system and being a part of the pageant system during COVID-19. How is it to be Miss Plano during COVID-19?
Yeah, good
and
question.
what does that mean to everybody? And how are you integrating your top 5 interview from 2019, which, by the way, was amazing, on getting into the community and letting people know what you are and who you guys are?
Absolutely. So something I love so much about the Miss Texas organization, and I'm sure Chandler has touched on this with you all, but regardless of what title you hold, whether you're a local candidate or you're Miss Texas, or even if you are Miss America, the job doesn't change. Only your title does and the region in which you're serving. So as Miss Plano during the COVID-19 pandemic, I am doing exactly what every title holder in our organization is doing, and that is reaching out on social media, participating in live streams. I'm also starting my own brand new 501c3 nonprofit organization. So that has been in the works during COVID-19 as well, but we are all adapting and staying flexible to our surroundings, but continuing to make the biggest impact that we can. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to since all of the COVID-19 craziness.
So,
Well,
Kathy,
yeah, let's talk about the reason you're on today. This is huge.
you hit it, Kathy.
This is huge. You've got a program now. I'm going to let you talk about it. And I'm so when I learned how this passion came to be for you, it just made me respect you all the more. So talk about this and talk about the challenge you have out there worldwide for people today.
Absolutely. So I am starting today. It's the first ever National Live Fearless Day created in partnership with the National Day Archives. So essentially this day, this national holiday, was born out of my journey competing in the Miss America organization and ultimately overcoming a rare speech impediment by the name of blocking. So prior to competing for the title of Miss Texas Outstanding Teen, I struggled to even form a coherent sentence. I couldn't order my own food at a restaurant. I hated meeting new people. And so when I started competing in the organization, I really had to take a hard look at myself and say, Landry, this is something that you feel called to do. You have to do this. And so I was really able to take that first step outside of my comfort zone. And I will be totally honest with you, for the first couple of years that I competed, I stuttered right and left on stage. I stuttered at appearances, but it was all about getting comfortable in my own skin and recognizing that my stutter is not something that I should be ashamed of. But it's something that makes me who I am. So I really took on that challenge every single day as a title holder, living fearlessly and speaking in front of others. And so when I was blessed with another year as Miss Plano, I knew I had to do something huge to celebrate. So I created National Live Fearless Day to commemorate not only my dedication to living fearlessly, but to challenge each and every one of you watching at home to also live fearlessly. So today I am challenging everyone listening to try something new. We all have dreams, we all have goals, but sometimes the most intimidating part of those goals is just taking the first step and starting. So today, regardless of what your Live Fearless Day project is, it could be something as simple as trying a new food that may scare you, or it could be looking into moving to a brand new city. Regardless of what your comfort zone is allowing you to do, this is the day to do it and try it. So I'm asking that everyone try something new, be fearless in the pursuit of your goals, and take a picture, take a video, document it. Tag me on Instagram at Miss Plano TX and use the hashtag National Live Fearless Day. And I will not only repost, but I will send you a t-shirt to commemorate your dedication to living a fearless life. And it's my hope that by documenting all of this, you can look back on our next National Live Fearless Day in 2021 and say, wow, I've come so far because I was fearless enough in taking that first step.
And again, Landry, what is that hashtag that you want everybody to put? I'm putting it on my post that I'm sharing of you right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. So my Instagram is at Miss Plano TX, and the hashtag is hashtag National Live Fearless Day.
Love it.
So I need to figure out how to live fearless on this question.
Oh, no. Prepare yourself, Landry. Sorry about this.
Okay. So I got to figure out what on earth drives the hashtag and the at and the whatever. What on earth am I doing? Landry, help me out here.
Don't let her know how old and out of and unhip we are.
But I mean, what does the hashtag do? Does the hashtag like connect me or something?
Yeah, so the hashtag is kind of just an international way for everyone around the world to see what you're doing, even if they don't necessarily follow your account. So if you tag hashtag National Live Fearless Day, you can click on the hashtag and see everybody's Live Fearless project.
And that's what I wanted to tell
really having to follow. So it's just a really easy way for us all to connect and be a community of fearless leaders.
See how much smarter I am than you thought I was? See that?
Oh, no, I'm still, yeah.
See, I'm smarter than you thought
hopefully
I was.
at some point, I know you're off. You're in Oklahoma in college right now,
yes,
right?
Yes, I'm zooming from my dorm at OKC.
Love it, love it. Well, hopefully we can have you in studio at some point, especially since you are one of the ambassadors for Miss Texas this year.
Right.
And, yeah, and then you can see, yes, JP and I, we pretend like we're hip and now and cool and trendy. It's all an act.
I hope I spelled that right.
Smoking me.
National Live Fearless Day.
Smoking me.
We're going to find if we did go back and look on our feed. And thank you so much for liking our JP, Kathy, and the crew page and following us. And we'll certainly be following you.
Absolutely.
If we've messed something up, just put a little comment and just say, "Hey guys,
Yeah,
you
help
might
fix
want to
it.
switch this, and here's what you want to switch it to."
Yeah, help fix it. Now Landry, I've got a very important question for you. Please tell me that as the as the Big 12 gets ready to kick off, you will be hooking horns, right?
So, unfortunately, my parents are Aggies.
Oh.
They both graduated from Texas A&M in '97. So even though we are technically not playing UT anymore, I don't think I can ever hook them.
Oh, see.
She's not a real
Okay,
Aggie.
Miss
Landry's not a real
Plano, when
Aggie.
you come into
Isn't it
studio, you'll
TU?
sit on my side of the
Oh,
studio
easy.
because JP is like, he bleeds burnt orange.
Oh, man.
I've already contacted the Department of Texas Homeland Security. They will be revoking your passport, young lady.
Oh, no, no,
Texas
no,
passport.
no.
Her Texas passport. She's not getting back in from Oklahoma. It's not happening.
Well, here's what I love. You're so well spoken. You're so eloquent. You're so enthusiastic, and I know you said what you were 14 when you started in the pageant system, and you still had. I would imagine you're probably early 20s at this point. I'm just guessing. So we're talking. It wasn't that long ago that you struggled with a stutter, and there are so many people. I mean, I used to be a Dale Carnegie instructor, and we used to talk to people about the fact that people have a bigger fear of getting up and giving the eulogy at a funeral than they do of the one being in the box in the funeral, so to speak. And so I just look at how far you've come and what an inspiration you can be to these kids who maybe they're afraid to, like you said, step out of your comfort zone. So again, just hats off to you, and thank you so much for being willing to share what you've dealt with to overcome this.
Thank you so much. I actually love that example that you used because it is true. Public speaking is the number one feared thing, feared more than death. And so something that I talk about a lot as Miss Plano when I'm speaking in schools is regardless of what adversity you face, everyone is coping with something.
Right.
And it may not necessarily be on the surface. And so for me, that was stuttering. And because I took that fearless first step of competing in this organization that's characterized by public speaking, I was able to change the trajectory of my life because of this opportunity. Not only am I still competing in this organization, but I'm also a music theater major at Oklahoma City University. And that is something I never would have felt comfortable doing if I knew that I was not able to speak on a stage. And so now that I know that I have that skill set and I know how to click into that confidence, I'm now capable of doing something that I'm very passionate about.
And that that will change the rest of your life and what your options are in music theater. Oh yeah, I thought I liked you before. Oh yes,
well,
that's awesome.
I loved you regardless. You could have been an economics major and it wouldn't matter to me.
Well, but again,
saying,
it doesn't matter what your profession is. If you're unable to communicate in front of an audience, in front of your peers, in front of leaders of that organization, you're done. It doesn't matter what that path, career path is. So good for you. And I hope people from the crew take advantage of that today.
Let's talk about the crew real quick. I don't know, Landry, if you're able to see the monitor behind Kathy and I am pointing at it. Can you see that? So the crew makes comments up there. Not that you can read them, but one of our crew members said, "What a really cute dorm room." So what inspired your decorations?
Super cute. Agree.
Thank you. Yes, I have a New York pink theme going. So.
Okay. Well, Fred's going to love you then from the crew because he's from New York.
Is that the skyline behind
He's a police officer from New York.
Retired law enforcement.
So, and then Landry, comments are coming in. Carolyn Carruthers, Landry, you're amazing. Great interview.
Yes.
Susan Schuler says, hi, Landry. Cleo Marchese says, I stuttered until I was 13. I used to dread reading aloud in class. Now, I can tell you, Cleo no longer stutters.
Yeah. And Cleo's a phenomenal speaker. And
Yes.
I had no idea that Cleo used to have a stutter as well.
I didn't
wow.
either. And then one of the last comments was, which school, OSU or OU? But you answered smartly and said OCU.
Yes, Oklahoma City University. It's Kristen Chenoweth's alma mater, if y'all are familiar with her.
Yes,
No, I'm very-
musical theater, of course.
Now,
yes.
of course, now, Landry, when tennis season comes around, you got to get out and support OCU's tennis team, right?
Absolutely.
Because they have one of the top tennis programs in the country. Didn't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of really incredible sport programs on our campus, and I had no idea when I auditioned. But I'm also on the pom squad here at OCU, so I get to attend all of the games and cheer, and so it's been so fun to watch all of the athletes.
Maybe she can come cheer one of our paper football.
Oh, Ooh.
Oh no, she's
But
no.
she could be the ambassador
She's
of paper
Miss
football.
Plano. She's not going to come around somewhere where there's
Hey,
a whole
we're
lot
playing
of silliness
professional
going
paper
on.
football. Let me tell you, Landry, you want to be a part of that. That's way cool. Well, Landry, I cannot thank you enough for joining us up there from Oklahoma, and you're beautiful, and your message
thank
is
you
amazing.
so much for your
Thank you,
inspiration.
thank you.
God bless
Thank
you.
all. Thank you.
All right, take care
All
of
right,
yourself.
take
We'll
care,
see
Landry.
you
Be
again, Miss
safe,
Plano.
okay? All right, that was Miss Plano, Landry Champlin. All right, you are on the JP Kathy and the Crew Network. You are with JP Kathy and the Crew this morning. We come live to you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Coming up, we have got on Friday a very special interview with Randy and Mary Travis. That's right. When I say Randy Travis and Mary Travis, I am talking about the country western star and his
Forever
wife.
and ever, amen.
Amen. Well, and everything else. I'm digging up some bones and all kinds of fun
Get your
stuff.
handsome face on.
So,
Didn't mean to throw
joining
you
us
under the
now,
bus
as you can
with
see,
this.
of course,
I know, but I was like,
Lathan Watts is joining us
us
from First Liberty. And we're going to be talking about some cool stuff.
Yeah, we've of course the crew. Everybody knows Lathan Watts from First Liberty. We love him dearly, and you know you're a walking miracle. Still at this point, you know we were so grateful that the crew pulled together and so many people, just thousands upon thousands of people prayed for Lathan when he had a brain aneurysm, which I love it that you're in studio with us and you look great, and I know you're working hard. So health, how is it? That's
health
first
and
and foremost. So
yes, thank
still
you very
good.
Much. Yep, everything is. I'm back to as normal as I was.
Well, I was gonna say,
My
and
version
let's
of normal.
define normal.
Yeah.
We're not going to bring your family on.
Right,
Don't worry.
exactly.
Don't worry. Not bringing your
We're
family
not bringing
on.
his gorgeous wife Kim on to talk about that. No.
right.
Well,
So-
we're super excited to have you back and in
Thanks. Great to be
studio
here.
again. So
Yeah.
thanks.
Latham, a lot going on First Liberty.
Yeah.
Some California stuff. Are you able to talk about the California
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, absolutely. We're going to do basically if you've been to our website, if you've watched, we have a segment called First Liberty Live that we've been doing where we bring on guests and we broadcast live on Facebook. And if you go to firstliberty.org and kind of scroll down, you'll see the First Liberty Live section of the website. And you can watch old episodes, previous episodes, but we're going to take First Liberty Live on the road. So we're going to go out to California with an aching in my heart.
Is there a song in there?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
and you know,
Zeppelin.
Lathan also. Lathan is a
Beach Boys
singer
song,
and a
California
guitar
Girls.
player,
Yep.
and he's got his own band. Have y'all been able to play since COVID?
But not really. No, because there's,
I mean, like out in front of an audience.
yeah, because places are starting to open up and they're starting to have more people, but it's like
Yeah.
they can only have a certain capacity or
Right.
something like that. So, so we're very much looking forward to being able to do that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Now, Latham, real quick, if you'll go to my screen, please, Chuck, I just want to make sure I'm in the right place. But this is, if you'll make it the full screen, this is the website. Is that correct, Latham?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so on the website, where do they go to kind of catch up and
Yep.
watch some of those?
Yeah, you can just scroll down the page. There should be section there. Keep going. Right there. First Liberty Live.
Oh,
right
perfect.
there.
All right. And so you can subscribe.
Donate.
Donate.
Yes,
Because
thank
it is
you.
a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, we are. We're a 501c3, so no client ever gets a bill. And if
Which
people
is
have,
amazing.
if-
Is amazing.
just for people that that might not have watched when I've been on here before, our firm is a nonprofit law firm, think tank. We only handle religious liberty cases. That's the only kind of case we do. Part of the reason we're going to California is because that's kind of the front line of the conflict between religious liberty and government overreach under the guise of COVID-19.
And
So-
you can say government overreach with all caps.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know.
yeah. Well, you know, I've got family that lives in the valley in Fresno, in the San Joaquin Valley, which is probably one of the few conservative, larger areas of California. A lot of Republicans out of there. My family very conservative, Reagan Republican types out of the valley, and they call him Gavin Gruesome. You know, because of the gruesome legislation, emergency orders that are coming out of his office, and they're
his
upset.
priorities are all wrong.
Well, they're upset they can't go to church.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and now he's got
Well,
a
y'all
code.
are a church going family.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they've got a color coding system, orange, purple, and if you're at a purple, you have to wait till 30 days before you can go back to orange, and vice versa. And I mean, how do you deal with that and being able to express yourself within your faith?
Right. So, I mean, all levels of government, they have a compelling interest in protecting the health and safety of the public.
Right.
Nobody disputes that.
Right.
But the primary purpose of government, if you read anything the founders wrote, it's the sole reason for the existence of government is to protect the God-given rights of the people. So yes, you have responsibility to protect health and safety, but your main responsibility is to protect their rights. And the very first one in the First Amendment is religious freedom.
Right.
So you have to be able to do these things and balance in a balanced way that allows people to continue to live according to their faith.
Right.
Not just choose where you go to church on Sunday. And now, we're actually having to, fight for the right to actually go to church.
And it's not just, and here's the thing, in something you always bring up with First Liberty, and people have asked this at places where I've seen you speak, and that is, okay, well, is this just for Christians?
Absolutely
No.
not. We represent people of all faiths anywhere in the country. We have a team of lawyers in-house in our office here, but we have a network of attorneys in private practice who volunteer their time, also pro bono, so the client never gets a bill. And that allows us to take a case anywhere in the country, and we will defend any faith anywhere in the country.
Right.
So long as that person is just simply trying to live according to what they believe in a way that's consistent with the law and the Constitution, then we'll defend your right to do so.
Well, I guess, Lathan, my question is, when did faith not be a part of our health?
Right.
Amen.
I mean, how is that not as important as a gym, as important as a nail salon,
Certainly,
as important as a car wash,
Getting your dog groomed.
groomed? But I mean, my mental health is stronger when I'm able to practice my faith.
Absolutely.
And practice it with people that share in the same faith that I have.
Certainly. I mean, we were created as social beings, right? I mean, there's going to be, and in fact, there already is, some statistical evidence that people being just shut in their homes for weeks on end is actually it's going to end up being worse for health on a grand scale
Exactly.
than COVID was. And, for people of faith, yes, it's essential. It is, we are called to gather together. Do not forsake the assembly of the saints, right? It's
right.
in
You
Scripture.
have said that faith is the reason you're here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
People have died from what you went through, and it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter that you're in good shape and all that kind of good stuff. It's you have you've said God and faith, the faith, and the prayers.
That's the only explanation that makes any sense. The doctors
Right.
couldn't figure it out. They could never tell me why my brain decided to start bleeding.
Right.
But I know with all my heart why it stopped.
Yes.
Because people that watch this show, people that
You're
Kim just
thousands
put
and
out a
thousands
call
of friends,
on
and
Facebook, and people started praying.
And well, people do what Kim says to do. And JP, you're right.
Right.
So it does become a mental health issue. It really does.
So I wanted to go to this, and Chuck, if you could make this a part of our screen. Are we in the times of Matthew 24? Is that where we're at? And that's what's on the screen now I brought up. Jesus had left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. Do you see all these things, he asked. Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down. And it just goes, as Matthew 24 goes, if you know the verse, the destruction and how that destruction is coming about, and it starts with our faith.
Yeah, we one of our guests on First Liberty Live was Sean Foyt, who's been doing these worship services, praise and worship services around California and other places out in the open, so that people could gather and worship. And I think it was him on First Liberty Live that used the phrase "the church has left the building." Right. Well, that's the church is the people. The building is just where we gather to meet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there's another great quote. It's attributed to Francis of Assisi. I don't know if he actually said it, but it's a great quote, so I use it all the time anyway. That preach the gospel at all times. When necessary, use words.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what the free exercise clause of the First Amendment protects. It is your right to live according to your faith. And,
Right.
in all aspects of your life, not just the ability to go, and assemble with other believers on Sunday morning or Sunday night or whenever you do it, but in all aspects of how you run your business, in school, in work, at home. It is about living according to. The founders knew that that's the role of religion in a civil society. When you lose a common standard of morality or the concept of objective truth, a common standard to measure things by, then everything becomes about who is in power. And the role of religion in civil society has, historically been, that's where people find that common standard of morality and that notion of truth.
Right.
So that's why the founders protected the role of religion in a free civil society.
So brilliantly.
You can't have one without the other.
You're right. You're right.
You cannot have freedom without morality. You can't have the freedom to assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances unless you have the morality not to do it in a way that burns down a public building or burns down another citizen's private property. That's freedom without morality, and they knew that leads back to anarchy, which leads back to tyranny. That's why they built our system the way they have. So, and that's why we do what we do. We protect people of all faith and their right to live according to that faith. So we're going to go out to California and shine a light on what's going out there. It's going to be fun.
And what's it going to look
It
like?
is going to be fun. You're in a warrior's cloak at this point.
Oh boy, howdy! And so what's this going to look like? I mean, do y'all have some fun stuff
Yeah,
planned? I think First Liberty is going to have a good time on the way out there.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, we got a truck, and it's.
Oh yeah, this is great. Tell
with,
us about that.
If you just stay tuned on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
And how do they follow you? Do they just First Liberty and look it up on any of them?
Yeah,
okay,
you'll find us
perfect.
out there. There's going to be you're going to see images of the mobile unit that's going out there. That's going to be basically that what you see in the background there on the website is basically wrapped on a truck. And the truck is going to be going to California.
Now, is it that picture right there?
The sort of the picture in the background of the First Liberty Live
section.
Oh,
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so down
that's
here.
So great.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
some of
so
that stuff right there.
great.
So we're actually going to go and check it out later today. I think it's going to start the road trip out to California, and then we'll be in Sacramento this weekend, and then we're going to be in different spots around.
That's awesome.
You're going straight to Gomorrah, brother.
Belly of the beast. I love it. No pressure.
Let the state assembly know I said hi, would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Woo! You're going right to the. Yeah, you're going to the city of Gomorrah.
I left it on my desk. We had some face masks specially made for this trip.
What do they say?
We the people, like the constitutions
Right.
on them. So just as a reminder to the folks
I want
in
one of
Sacramento.
those. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
they don't
so
know what that is
awesome.
anymore. It's not we the
Exactly.
people. It's what can we do for ourselves.
Yeah, for
Right.
some reason, I don't know that you're going to be met with open arms. Actually, you know what I hope is that there are people, we've got people who listen to this show and watch us all the way in California, follow First Liberty, get out there and show some support and love for what y'all are doing. I just think that would be huge. You expect the negative, and that's all the media shows you is the negative, unfortunately. But how great would that be to have just some great folks who believe in religious freedom, who want to get back to the practice of being with their fellow Christians or whatever, whatever your religion is.
We'll let people know. Once we pop up somewhere in the truck,
Love
we'll
it.
be easy
Oh, I
to
love
spot.
it.
Come by and talk to us. We'll probably do some man on the street interview stuff while we're out there.
I'm
Would love to get some of that. I don't know if we can get you to email us some of that stuff. Would love to be able to play that on the show.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
As
if
you
y'all
guys are
got a
going-
man on the street.
Well, as you guys are going through doing this, would
Mm-hmm.
love to be able to ask people to donate to you and to show what you're doing. People ask for donations all the time, but we don't ever get to see sometimes the results of our money.
Right.
And this is one of those deals where you're going to go out with boots on the ground trying to make a difference for the Constitution and the religious freedoms of this country.
Well, the truck's not free. Wrapping it's not free. The person driving the truck, that's not free. This is what if you donate to First Liberty right now, you're helping with this effort.
So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know, Lathan, if we can even get someone to pop on before they get ready to do what they're going to do, and we'll do
We can figure something
2
out.
or 3
sure.
minutes while you're out there.
Oh heck yeah, we go live. We
'cause
go
we can
live
bring
with
you
that
on,
too.
You know, and then like I said, that's a good time for us to say, hey, we need you to donate.
Yep.
We need this cause funded so
Yep.
they can continue their trek, because the state of California is a big state.
It is. Yeah,
It's a big
place.
state.
Yeah.
If you end
Oh,
up in the
my.
valley, let me know if you end up in the Fresno area,
Okay.
San Joaquin Valley, and
You'll
I'll
have some
of my-
friends there, we
Yeah,
promise.
I'll have some of my family members come out
Yeah.
and join you all and help spread the word.
Yeah, some of this is kind of we're kind of playing it by ear a little bit, just kind of depending on where things are going on and places for us to be. So it's we have sort of a set plan, but we sort of look at it as this is what we think is going to happen, but we're flexible. Like we're going to go.
Well, like I
figure
said,
this thing out.
let me know. I know I can talk to my my uncles and
Yeah.
my aunts, and I'm sure they'd love to host you guys. Very conservative.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
absolutely. I mean, it's always great to be able to actually meet, supporters. I'm lucky enough I get to, be around some of our clients occasionally, and that really, just reinforces why I do what I do.
Right.
It's always great, meeting people that support our work. We're not the typical law firm, as you probably figured out by now.
No.
Right.
Well, y'all are like a law firm with superhero capes on because you're coming out there and helping people. And again, this is free of charge. I mean, some of these landmark cases you've talked about on our show, these people would never have had a voice
Yeah, there's
if
no
it weren't
way.
for y'all.
Yeah, Coach Kennedy.
Yeah,
his case is
amen,
back
yeah.
at the Ninth Circuit, right now.
And
That case has
please
been going on for
please keep us posted on
5,
that.
6 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, his legal bills would be 7 figures easy.
Yeah.
in
And
a
again,
case that long.
his voice would have never been heard.
Right.
Well,
All right.
thank you so
Well,
much.
what are we going
Yeah.
to? Hold on, now we got to leave everybody with something. Latham, what do you want to leave everybody with?
Check us out. Go to firstliberty.org. If you want to know more about the mobile tour of First Liberty Live, just scroll down on the homepage there. You can check out some previous episodes of First Liberty Live to kind of get an idea of what it is. And then that you'll be able to find info on the California tour there. Also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Parler. We're on Parler as well. And are we on Pinterest, Todd? I think we're on Pinterest too.
Pinterest.
So you can find us pretty much anywhere.
And if you'll flash the website up one more time there, Chuck, for us. But yeah, and folks, this isn't free. We need you to help them out. Let's donate a little bit. Hopefully we can get lucky and get Latham or somebody from the First Liberty crew to come on and talk to us while they're out there making this trek. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the state of Gomorrah, outside of the valley, because I mean,
Well, it's just you're going into the belly of the beast, and God bless y'all for for living fearless, like Miss Plano was just talking about. It takes people stepping out of their comfort zone to make this kind of stuff happen.
Around our office, we use a phrase a lot called being first in the fight.
right.
Yep.
And the first. I mean, we are First Liberty Institute because it is the First Liberty.
Right.
But being first in the fight is important to us. We go where the fight is. So
Just
Amen.
don't forget to
Yep.
avoid those zombies.
Oh, and we're back.
Chuck couldn't let that go.
And then
Good
there
call,
you go.
Chuck Gurra. Good call, Chuck Gurra. All right, Latham, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks so much.
JP,
It's
Kathy,
good
and
to
the
see
crew.
you.
Of course, you're a member of the family, so
Yeah, we
always
love
welcome back.
you here.
I'll be back.
So
All right, sounds
All right,
good.
thank you so
God bless y'all.
much.
Thank y'all.
All right, we've got Dr. Dave. Do we have him on the load up? Let's get
he's
him on.
going to
the
be
air.
on just on audio, not video today.
Hey,
he
guys.
said.
Dr.
Hey, Dr.
Dave. Dr. Dave.
Sorry, JP. I promise
Dude.
next time. It was a
We were-
long night. You don't want to lose viewers right now.
Oh, please, Dr. Dave.
Dr. Dave, you're a handsome dude, man. We gain them. We gain them. All right. So I made an announcement earlier when you sent me the article that you sent me with the U.S. News and World Report, AHA News, when it comes to Labor Day menu choices. Safety is tasty, and everybody's wondering, what does that mean, Dr. Dave?
Well, something that I didn't really think about until recently was, this weekend is Labor Day and cases kind of fluctuating throughout the country with COVID. How do we enjoy this kind of holiday without having a big spike? And also, want to talk about, just regular Labor Day safety as far as, drinking, driving, the kind of dangers that could get you sent to the ER. But number one, what we got to consider this year is what are we going to do this Labor Day? We kind of had the virus under control in May, and then Memorial Day happened, and we saw a huge spike after that. And then same thing kind of happened after July 4th. So the kind of the trend that we're seeing is we take a break for a day, have a holiday weekend, get everybody together, and then something innocent turns into a big spike in the country. And What the difference is, I think, is that we get together with a small group of people, and we think we're safe because it's our family and friends, and kind of relax our precautions. And then the next day you find out that somebody started feeling sick and was shedding the virus everywhere. So all of a sudden you got a lot of infected people. And so you want to take, precautions as far as if you're at the lake with somebody, if you're at somebody's house, still try to physically distance. The worry from that article is that, since people are eating outside a lot more, which is great, but just to mind the food, because, if it's sitting out there too long, there's a big chance of it getting food poisoning from it, and things like that. Also, make sure that you're watching how you get the food. If it's kind of a buffet setup, even if you're physically distancing, if everyone's kind of lining up at the buffet at the same time, it's kind of a big transmission risk. It looks like you wanted to jump in there, Kathy. I see you.
No,
Dr.
thank
Dave,
you. Well,
I see ya.
You're good. He knows me well enough. Well, no, you're making a good point. We've got the Collin County Republican Party. We're doing a big Labor Day rally on Monday morning, and luckily we're in a very large space, and masks, social distancing. It's all this has been thought of, but the big discussion, which is usually an afterthought, was how do we give people bottles of water or lemonade, soda? How do we distribute food? And everything, all of our decisions, because normally you've got kids running up to a table that's got all these different desserts on it and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's not the case this year. So we had that literally was the biggest planning part of this event, was how do we get the food there, make sure it's safe, and then how do we distribute it safely to the folks who show up? Yeah,
it's so annoying, honestly. And what we're doing at the hospitals and stuff is this is grab and go. Everything's grab and go in a container. There's nothing where you can scoop anything. There's no salad bars. The pizza, you don't grab it off a tongue and put it onto your plate anymore. It's all prepackaged.
Right.
That's what my daughter has been calling me for her first couple weeks at Tech, begging for money to go out to eat because she's just so tired of the cafeteria food, because you can't, it's all prepackaged. She's like, you grab a package, and if it's not what I want, like, you can't add something to it. It's kind of a prepackaged world right now. So
it is.
It makes
that's
it very,
kind
very
of boring.
difficult.
Well, but they're also
it is
keeping.
What
They're also keeping salt and pepper away. They're keeping ketchup away, hot sauce away.
Oh, don't even get me started on the lack of availability to condiments right now.
I've got a new backpack, and I wrote with a magic marker condiments bag. So I now go to the restaurant. I carry my own condiments. No, just kidding. I don't do that.
Hey,
and even as a physician,
I
think this stuff is. I think it's just too extreme, too dumb. I mean, I guess maybe you could cough on somebody for both grabbing ketchup at the same time, but. Have you guys covered the herd immunity talk at all this week that's been going on?
Not this week.
We haven't
not
this week. But I mean, where are we at with that? I mean, is this a herd immunity kind of thing?
To me, it makes sense, but they say it's not working in Sweden. And for everybody's listening that doesn't know what herd immunity is, it's basically the thought that we're all probably gonna get it. Let's just let it rampage through the community. Let everybody get it. Protect the elderly and the at risk. Let everybody else get it over with, get some antibodies, and see what happens. When you do that, you do have a huge number of spike in the deaths. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a higher death rate, but because more people are going to have it, there will be increased deaths. So I guess that was kind of announced this week that the White House was thinking about it, and then there was denial that maybe they weren't thinking about it. If that works, to me, I think we should just do it, because I think kind of just sneaking around doing it anyways. It's just so hard for us to do what, to completely shut down here, that I'm kind of all for the herd immunity thing if it actually has some backing to work. But that's what just, these kind of things we talk about make me think is like, we're never going to, if we're going to keep doing things like Labor Day, like, I go to the lake on the weekends, I don't see any mask. I'm not wearing a mask, but, I'm putting myself and others at risk too. Like we all are guilty of it. So if we're going to keep doing it, let's get it out there and see what happens. But that's not a PC thing to say, because when you do that, then you're saying that you're willing to risk lives.
Right. Well, but then again, the natural herd immunity. Then you hear about that, and you hear just kind of like with other things. And I remember I'm of the age, because I'm older than you, Dr. Dave, where, there was the chicken pox party thing, or it was like, you know what, okay, I can't remember if I got it first or my brother got it first.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things that, I remember that being a thing back in the day that, they didn't quarantine me for my brother or my brother for me or anything like that. I now remember my uncle, because he had not had it, and it's very dangerous, especially for a man to get it when he's older. He had to say hi to us outside of the sliding glass door. But you hear of things back in the day where herd immunity and things like that worked. I don't know. It's one of those things that keep everybody, just like everything else with COVID. And I always compliment you and Dr. Clothier, because this whole time this has gone on, y'all are both confident enough in your abilities and your talents as doctors to say, we know enough to know that we don't know it all, and something might change. So it's fluid, and just keep tuned. Stay tuned.
I just don't like being compared to a cow.
Oh, come on.
Herd.
Oh, but up, okay.
Have you seen America?
Easy, little
No,
man.
he means we're followers. He means a lot of us
Easy,
are just
little man.
followers.
You might
I'm
outrun
sorry,
me. You might outrun me, but you will get tired. Little man.
I still don't think he looks old enough to have
Y'all
a
are so
college-age
bad.
child.
Oh, good night.
Okay, but you just missed the whole Dr. Dave JP thing. That was fun.
Oh, y'all are a mess.
I know where he lives too. I'm gonna go squish him.
Oh, there you go.
Cow herd immunity.
He's quick. He's chasing a toddler. He's stealth right now.
Yeah,
Trust me.
but by the time he's done chasing Lily, he's all tired out.
Yeah, right about that. And the other thing, guys, we got to remember with Labor Day is, just be safe as far as alcohol, staying hydrated, the drinking and driving and fireworks. We see these on every one of these kind of holidays, a big increase in alcohol-related deaths, alcohol-related injuries, a lot of family violence when people get together, especially this year with politics going on and the election. If you're drinking, I'd say don't talk politics with the family. I see some bad injuries come out of it. Brothers stabbing brothers and things like that. So
especially don't go swimming.
I'd recommend staying away from that. Go ahead.
Don't go swimming either.
Don't go swimming.
If you're
Flavor Day.
drinking.
Oh, if you're drinking, absolutely stay away from the swimming pool, unless you've got adult water wings on.
Well, but I want to go back though to what Dr. Dave is saying, because it's very true. Stay out of the conversation of politics with family and alcohol.
Yep.
Oh,
because Dr. Dave, again, tell us some of your experiences you've had with family members coming in the ER.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've literally like blood brothers, stabbing each other, or gunshot accidents, because they just get so worked up over dumb things like politics, and it ruins their family relationship. It can cause death or lifelong disability. So it makes for an awkward Thanksgiving when you shot your brother in the head a few months ago.
Yeah,
So
there might not be a Thanksgiving get together the next year. You're so right, and unfortunately, we're so ramped up as society. You do see you hear of these arguments within families all the time, but you see the real bad end results.
Yeah, and it's just not worth it. Something like that, we get so riled up when we're all probably, if we just took a step back a little more and be in the middle. So you just hate to see families, be devastated from that kind of thing. Always recommend wearing a seatbelt and watch out for the driving. Last week I had, unfortunately, a couple that was married. They had just celebrated their 61st wedding anniversary, and car accident, no alcohol involved, but the driver, the male, was not wearing a seatbelt, and the wife was. And he was ejected from the car and unfortunately passed away. And she barely had a scratch on her, all because of the seatbelt. So we still see these kind of seatbelt injuries from something minor. And again, they just celebrated their 61st wedding anniversary. It was really sad. And the swimming thing is, I should have touched on that more. Not just the adults if you're drinking, but the kids. That's what we see is the kid drowning because the adults are distracted. We did a whole show, I think, once on distracted parents from drowning. So I really don't want to see any children, suffer from drowning accidents this weekend. We actually had one. We saw one last week, and they did okay, thankfully. But again, it's usually distracted parents. Lakes are very, very dark. Be careful on the boats, especially if there's a propeller. Life vest, all those things are very, very important. Just try to be safe.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
and Dr. Dave, I want to go back to Sweden for just a moment. I pulled up some interesting information. They say they peaked in April, and they're now down to just a couple of deaths a day in that country.
Oh, wow.
They are not wearing masks. The health minister and science there said it doesn't do enough, and that what they promote is social distancing and hand washing seem to be more fit.
Which hand washing should have been like
yeah.
high on everybody's priority list. That's been the biggest eye opener to me during COVID is people who didn't wash their hands, especially after they went to the restroom.
Well, or wipe their butt. I mean,
don't say that.
the TP crisis of 2020. I'm like, when did all of you people not wipe your rear end?
Oh, goodness
I mean,
gracious.
why is there a toilet paper run all of a sudden? Gross. Anyways, but I'm looking through this, and I'm on an article. It's called let's see, it's by a French newspaper. It's called the Coronavirus Pandemic, and it's World Europe, and it's Coronavirus. Sweden bucks pandemic trend, still refuses to recommend face masks. And this was published September 1st at 11:49 a.m. And it's AFP, Agency France-Press. I don't know if you wanted to look that up, Dr. D. But they're without face masks on buses, metros, shopping for food. Kids are going to school maskless. Only a very few people are actually wearing masks, and their numbers continue to trend down, including, like I said, their deaths. It's only a couple deaths a day now is what they're showing.
But they did have a huge spike in deaths for a while, and that's it's going down because they're developing that immunity. And I do believe in the mask, but if we're going to do the herd immunity, you take them off and you let it go everywhere. But the difference is they're willing to accept a death rate, and that's something that we have to accept here. Before COVID, I would always say you're not allowed to die, and that has to do with a lot of different things. We see patients with no quality of life that we have to keep alive and resuscitate and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on. Because people in this country let somebody die, and if you do die, it's always somebody else's fault. And there's lawsuits. We're in a very strange place here compared to the rest of the world. So I'm all for that if we're willing to accept that it's going to happen. But one of my mottos is that I've always taught like other med students, residents, and things is, why are we doing this? Yes, we're doing this because you're not allowed to die in America. So I'd like to change that a little bit if we're going to open it up.
Well, and again, it's not that you don't protect your elderly and the ones that are with a lower immunity or a compromised immunity. But I'm like with you. I mean, just kind of let it, because I've said this, it's not going away. It's like the flu.
Yeah.
Well, now he's saying but the Dr. Dave has always been real big on the masks. Right. I think it's going. The interesting thing is by the time we have you on next week over Labor Day weekend, Dr. Dave, something will have changed.
Oh yeah, well, and the masks, there's some masks that are just ridiculous to me. Some of these masks, I mean, these little cloth masks, they're not like anything, unless it's, probably a surgical cloth. I don't think bandanas and things like that are helping. So a lot of the times, it's kind of why I kind of like the herd immunity is because these temporizing measures we're doing are probably only about 50% effective. Unless you're going to go full court press and stop something, well, let's try the other way.
And something you had said, and I may lose that train of thought. Well, shoot.
Well, the mask helps protect everyone else from if you have the virus. Correct.
I know what it was. You had said that oh, doggone it! I just lost it again.
Welcome to my world.
I know.
Well,
yeah, I'm hanging out with JP too much. I'll have to text you after. It was a good point you made.
That's why you think about it. They do protect you, especially the surgical grade kind, but it's more the protection out. We worry that it doesn't protect us as much, just because we don't want to give a false sense that it's like a complete shield, because there is some leakage through the sides, and also you touch your face.
I touch my face
ways you
way
can get
more
it.
with a mask on.
So we just don't want people to think that you're 100% protected because you had a mask on.
Right.
One thing about the herd immunity and protecting the elderly, we've learned it's really hard to protect the elderly and at risk.
Right.
I have countless COVID patients where they come in and I know they have it, and I tell them I'm going to test for it, and they almost refuse. It's like, there's no way I have COVID. I have not left the house in months. And they're elderly, and I say, well, does anyone come to your house to bring you food or anything like that? Yes. My son, he's the only one.
But
he hasn't been sick, and we test them, and they're positive.
And they're positive. They just don't have those signs.
Yeah.
Something that, and this is a thought I had that I've stuck with. You've said you're seeing more and more people out there who have it or who have been tested and might have it, who are still out and about, and that still kind of blows my mind. I guess just like if you had the flu or bronchitis, would you get out? Would you get out and about if you? I don't know. Just be smart about it, people. That blew my mind when you said that the other day.
Well, so many people that have it, then they're like, I feel fine. I feel like I just have allergies, and 2 weeks is a long time. And so, think of some people, would you trust them to stay home for 2 weeks if they really want to get out, they feel like they're fine. It's hard.
Yeah. 3 weeks about killed me.
Well, I don't know, Dr. Dave,
killed my family.
My allergies are about 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
9 months?
Every year.
How about 11 months?
Yeah,
I was going to say, you're adding to that.
I know. I mean, I'm a Zyrtec D hound.
Not a sponsor, but they can be.
Too.
Yes. Yeah, Dr. Dave,
They
me too.
should be.
They should be. For as much of it as I buy.
Take 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Dave, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time out to be with us.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to do some kind of thing where you're at the hospital. We'd love to see your ER.
Yeah, like, can you take us on a
a good
tour
idea.
or
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, we'd love to see your ER.
Hospitals generally frown against that because they don't want something to happen and be caught liable, but I think I could sneak something in. I got
Show us the prepackaged food area. We'll take that. We'll take anything.
Video, right?
Dr. Dave, don't listen to her.
We'll
Shut her
take
down.
it. We'll take
Shut her
it.
down,
that
Dr.
part's
Dave.
not exciting.
Yeah, shut her down, Dr. Dave. We want the exciting stuff. Well, Dr.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you, and tell Lily hello for us. Give her a big old kiss.
Okay.
All the girls.
And take care of you and be safe out there, all right?
Yeah, stay healthy, Dr. Dave.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Okay,
take care,
take
Dr.
care.
Dave. All right, hey, don't forget, Friday coming up, our big interview with Randy and Mary Travis.
So excited. And JP, thank you so much for bringing this opportunity to JP, Kathy, and the crew. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's going to be very, very cool. But between now and then, catch the rebroadcast from
There you
11:30
go.
to 1 o'clock of JP, Kathy, and the crew. And again, very excited to bring you an expanded lineup. We'll be releasing that lineup very soon.
Crazy.
From a veterans show to Joe Show
Finances,
Castile to
entertainment,
finances with
entertainment,
Gail and Steve
yeah.
Meeks to the
Education, all
lawyer
of it.
show with Jeremy
Yeah, just good
Rosenthal, the
stuff,
Dr.
good
Good
stuff.
show. I mean, and then again, I don't know what we're going to call
Riding
it.
on.
Family nostalgia, old Plano, and barbecuing. I mean,
That's kind of a long hashtag that.
don't
And
do it.
hashtag National Live Fearless Day. Let's get out
Absolutely
there and
there.
make a difference today, like Miss
Yes,
Plano
I wanted.
is.
Oh, and there it is, finally. Bring it on up. Marvin, thank you for doing this. How
Oh.
cool is this?
This is
Make it big.
hilarious.
Make it big. There it is. We're wanted with a $10,000 reward. Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. If we can raise enough money, we're going to offer you that as a prize for our football league. Just kidding.
I was gonna say I don't know
Not
about
10,000.
that. Is
Not-
that yeah? Okay.
It's a
Yeah, that's
10,000. It's kind of cheap. We're not very bad. We're not very bad people.
Oh,
We need to do worse things.
I
We
don't-
can
it
make that
depends
$1
on
million.
Depends on who you're talking to.
That's true. And with that being said, have a blessed day.
We
We'll
love
see
you.
you on Friday.
Have a blessed one. Oh, that's fun.